ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Another day of frustration for San Diegans hoping to get their COVID-19 shot. The windy weather cleanup kept the Petco Vaccination Center from reopening. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena got the scoop on how thousands of appointments scheduled for today will be made up.
Flying overhead, Sky 10 could see the damage caused by the wind at the Petco Park Vaccine Superstation Tuesday morning. The weather was why the location was closed Monday and will remain closed till at least Wednesday. Thousands of appointments were postponed, including Karen Garrison's.
I was actually really impressed that they got the first one out to everybody before noon. Considering all that they were dealing with.
She's one of the local seniors who've been looking forward to getting their vaccine. UCSD Health says all appointments are being rescheduled. If you had one on Monday, it's been moved to Thursday. If you were supposed to go Tuesday, you'll now have a time on Saturday. Garrison says she's already confirmed her makeup appointment.
I think we're planning to go a little bit earlier, thinking that there's probably already people scheduled for Thursday, and it's going to be much more crowded.
UCSD health officials say anyone making an appointment at Petco is prompted to set up a MyChart patient portal account. It's how they keep track of information, notify people about issues, and schedule your second dose. If you're having trouble, you can get help from staff when you show up for your appointment at Petco or call the support number. While Garrison says she hasn't had any technology issues, others have.
If they would give more telephone access for people that don't use an iPhone or an iPad or a computer, that might be a nice option.
Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News.
UCSD Health says if you cannot make your new appointment, you'll have the option to choose another day that works for you.
Well, California is revamping its vaccine delivery system to get people their shots more efficiently. Third-party administrators will take over ordering and distributing vaccine doses, and that will put an end to the system of counties and hospital systems running their own delivery programs. But the specifics are still vague.
We are in discussion with many individuals and partners to talk about how this might work. And when we have more information about that, we will definitely be making an announcement at that time.
The state is also implementing a new alert system called MYTURN. You put in your information, and if you're eligible for the vaccine, you can make an appointment. If you're not, you can sign up for an email or a text alert when it is your turn. And you can find the site at MYTURN.CA.GOV. We also have a link on 10news.com.
The county reported another 1,400 cases today. That brings our total to 230,000. And another 46 people have lost their lives to COVID, bringing that total to 2,400. Some local restaurants are wasting no time reopening now that the stay-at-home order has been lifted. Jeff KIYAMA, the owner of North Park's Working Class Restaurant, spent the last 24 hours making sure things like the TVs and the plumbing still work.
Shutting off DirecTV, limiting our trash pickups, and then really watching the staff and making sure we're able to pump out the food but not be overly staffed.
County bars and restaurants cut nearly 9,000 jobs when the stay-at-home order went into effect. We are still in the purple tier, meaning restaurants can only have in-person dining outside.
San Diego is extending its eviction moratorium. Under the ordinance passed today by the City Council, tenants cannot be evicted for unpaid rent due to the pandemic until 60 days after the city's COVID emergency declaration ends. For commercial tenants, they cannot be evicted until June 30th or 60 days after the emergency is lifted, whichever comes first. Tenants will still be responsible for any unpaid back rent. The convention center will stay a homeless shelter for at least a little while longer. Today, the City Council passed Mayor Todd Gloria's plan to keep the shelter running through March. Former Mayor Kevin Faulkner planned to move everyone out of the convention center in December. The goal of using the convention center is to help connect homeless San Diegans with permanent or long-term housing. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
Turning now to our weather, it was a day of cleanup after yesterday's winter storm left behind plenty of damage, including those downed trees and blown away tents. Our ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner shows the work being done before the next storm arrives.
Here at Redford's Diner in North Park, the outdoor seating area is currently closed. That's because there used to be a tent up overhead. Because of the high winds, that tent got knocked over. You can see some of it over in the corner right there. And then there was other damage to the equipment on this patio. You can see that heater back there on that table that was knocked over in this. Tuesday, San Carlos homeowner David Tostado told ABC 10 News his backyard was left torn apart by the intense winds from the winter storm.
There was terrible winds last night, and we could hear it inside the house, and then we heard a huge noise outside, opened up the back patio door, and the canopy tent that covers our patio was completely just getting shredded by the wind.
At Redford's Diner in North Park Tuesday, crews spent the morning clearing out debris. Outdoor heaters crashed down and the tent knocked over. The owner said it'll set him back about $7,000.
Last night, the tent originally started here, and the wind carried it kind of over some of our equipment, I would say a good 40 feet.
Point Loma Sports Club General Manager Brian Welch showed us the mess outside his gym, but said that outdoor workout classes will not be interrupted.
The tent company should be back tomorrow. They'll replace all the poles and everything inside there, and then like a barn raising. They're going to relift the tent, and then once they've done that, we'll move everything back under covers.
Winds were howling overnight. Several trees toppled over, including a palm in South Park that landed on 3 parked cars. And in Kensington, workers cleared the road after a 40-foot palm crashed on a car. There were no reports of any injuries, just a lot of damage to deal with. And the owner of the diner spoke to ABC 10 News late this afternoon and said that that tent should be back up by tomorrow afternoon. Reporting in North Park, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
A high surf advisory expired about an hour ago, so today we checked out the big waves at Wind & Sea Beach in La Jolla. Those waves were between 5 and 8 feet with sets up to 10. So now let's check in with our meteorologist, Angelica Campos, for a look at those current conditions. Angelica.
Hi, Steve. It seems like now conditions are looking better even along our coastline with waves between 3 and 5 feet, which is what we expect even into tomorrow. But big swells are going to be back as another storm system moves into the area. As we look across the region, here's our satellite and radar. A beautiful day today in the wake of the latest storm now moving into the plains. The next storm system already moving just south of the Bay Area, and it's going to continue pushing farther south, eventually making its way into our county by the end of the week. And I want to move this to show you the front, and that's actually the frontal boundary associated with the storm and also the atmospheric river, which is going to contribute to a better potential of heavy rainfall. I'll show you how much rain we can expect around the county and where we'll see snow once again.
We'll see you in a minute. Thank you, Angelica. And the weather is complicating matters at this week's Farmers Insurance Open. ABC 10 News reporter Steve Smith shows how the golf tournament was already turned upside down by the pandemic and one notable absence.
The rain and heavy wind on Monday left a debris field of twigs and branches along the course. And although the forecast calls for more rain later in the week, it's not too much of a concern.
Out here for golf, rain's third on our list. You can play in the rain. So we've had rain, we've had our share of rain, but really tough rain to play in. It's been a while since we had that.
Now the rain did force a cancellation to yesterday's smaller Pro-Am, which is one of the 3 primary ways the tournament generates revenue for charities.
You know, losing yesterday was definitely difficult. This is a really tricky one. We're getting through it, understanding all those hits to your revenues and all those new expenses. It's significant. It's going to be very challenging for us.
And fan attendance is another major revenue stream, and they will be absent this week. The ropes will be empty, the grandstands non-existent. And that does change the game just a bit.
The way the course sets up visually without all of those grandstands and bleachers and the suites, you can't hit over a hole any longer and count on a free drop because it went into the suites. You're going to have to play it out from there in a lot of these cases.
Now, obviously, the players aren't going to see any fans out here due to COVID-19, but they're also not going to see Tiger Woods, who's won this event 7 times.
I wouldn't say you're ever Tiger-proofed, but we've shown folks there's a lot more reasons to be here than just Tiger, so that's always been good. But if you're ever going to have a year where Tiger wasn't here, to have it happen in a year without fans, that makes it a little bit easier as well.
At Torrey Pines, Steve Smith, ABC 10 News.
Woods is missing this year's Farmers because of recent surgery. He says he hopes to be back next year.
We have an update on the fire that we brought you last night at 7. 4 firefighters were hurt battling the flames at a shoe store in Chula Vista. Tonight we have learned 1 suffered second-degree burns and will be in the hospital several days. 2 others suffered minor burns and 1 hurt an ankle. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.